This is Todd Toback, and today we're going to talk about 6 lessons that I've learned investing in mobile home parks. And today's episode is going to be also a different topic because I talk about wholesaling real estate most of the time, and that is the short game of real estate. But investing in mobile home parks has actually been my secret weapon to build really long lasting wealth. And I'm talking about deals that have 7 figures attached to them that throw off passive cash flow every single month. And that's why I just love this asset class of real estate. I think it's really important to work on your short-term income, but also you want to build a long-term wealth. And that's what mobile home parks have done for me. And so I'm going to share some tricks and hacks with you. So if you want to know more, maybe about partnering with me or bringing a deal to me or how to invest in parks, maybe in other people's deals, go to No Limits Real Estate Investing No Limits Real Estate Investing.com/MHP. That's No Limits Real Estate Investing.com/MHP. So, a little bit about why I love mobile home parks. And I'm going to talk about my 6 reasons and some of the lessons that I've learned. But one of the reasons why I love mobile home parks is that, number one, there's less competition to acquire these assets. Now, there's still plenty of competition, in this asset class, just like there is for apartments or self-storage, but there's a little bit less because there's a little bit of a stigma surrounding the mobile home park industry, right? That they're trashy and the people that live in them are trashy and that you're going to have all kinds of crime. And for some parks, they live up to that name. However, a well-run park by a great operator will be a safe, clean, and affordable place to live for the person that's living here. There's really a huge gift. And a quick little story is that my grandmother and my mother actually lived in a mobile home park in Minnesota for like 20 years. And this place was so nice. It was really well kept and it was really clean and it was right on the river. And every time I visited there, I loved it. I was like, wow, what a clean, safe place for my mom to live. It was a true gift before we moved her into assisted living. And so I'm really passionate about it. And it can throw off great returns. And so this brings me to my first point about mobile home parks, is these things can throw off a phenomenal return, a really great return. But that being said, they're usually the long game in which you buy a park that needs to be turned around. It's not really operated well. And you need to play the long game. And so this is usually a 2 to 5 year play. And it's a phenomenal way to create cash flow. But usually there's not going to be a giant amount of cash flow up front year one if you buy a park that needs to be turned around. And so if you are able to delay gratification for a year sometimes, right, you are going to create an investment that over the next year 2 through 5 will not only throw off cash month after month after month, but there is a big payout at the end of that investment period, whether you decide to refinance or if you've partnered with somebody and they refinance you out, or if they sell the property. Is that, again, there's multiple ways to make money here. Is that there's a cash flow every single month because they are spitting off cash like every month. And again, when you sell, because you increase the value of that asset. Number 2 is you want to be in the parking lot business. And that is not the actual parking lots that you see in urban areas, but you are looking to create an environment where you are literally renting the dirt under people's homes. And so you want to create a business or partner with people whose business model is renting the land under mobile homes that are owned by the tenant. And so there are some people who invest in mobile home parks who also think if they own the homes that they could rent it out and boost cash flow. And I can tell you that's a really bad idea. My mentors in this business taught me, no, you don't want to do that. You want to be in the land business. And I can tell you this is absolutely 100% the truth. Is when you own a mobile home park, you're basically responsible for the infrastructure, right? The plumbing underneath the park that feeds the homes, the sewer connections, and some of the electricity if it's not direct bill with the electric company. And that's it, right? Obviously, you want to create a nice appearance on the outside of the park, but that's really, really what you're looking for. You want to be in the fancy parking lot business. And so if you create an environment where you're enforcing rules and you have a nice aesthetic to the park, and you've also have a healthy infrastructure, then you are going to make a lot of money because you are providing a clean, safe, affordable place to live to people who usually don't have other options. Think about it, it is so expensive to have an apartment right now. The average, I think, apartment rent is like $2,000 a month. And so if you can create an environment where someone could live between $500 and $1,000 a month all in, you know, you're giving someone a really, really, really good opportunity. And the only thing that you have to manage is the perimeter of the property and nothing inside. Life is good. So do not be in the home business, be in the parking lot business. 3, understand that with great reward comes a little bit more complexity. Mobile home parks are, make no mistake about it, an operating business. What does that mean? An operating business usually requires an employee. So on site of our properties, we actually have an on-site manager whom we have to manage. And that manager manages the park. They deal with the tenants, they help collect rent, they enforce the rules, they prepare notices, they coordinate repairs, they kind of manage some security there. And that's amazing because for a relatively low cost, you can have an employee on site who operates your business for you. And so if you're thinking about self-managing the park, and what I mean by self-managing, I mean dealing with the tenants and enforcing rules. That's not the way you run it, right? You run it by hiring a manager who lives in the park, who then enforces the rules in the park. And I can tell you, you really typically want to avoid a outside management where you have an outside manager managing the park. There are options to do that, and I know some people who are successful, but if you manage the manager, you're going to have the best luck. Next is competition from other mobile home parks or RV parks is low. It's extremely expensive. There's a lot of red tape. There is a lot of hassle of building a mobile home park or an RV. I mean, it's almost impossible. And so if you own a mobile home park, the competition of other mobile home parks coming into your area or competing on rents or creating a flood of supply of lots is very, 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 very low. And so it's a great business model. And I really, really, really enjoy that as a business owner, right? You do not want to create a lot of competition in any single business. And this is one that's got a little moat around it. 4 is, or 5 is you want to always be upgrading your properties. So your money is usually made by improving the property and then raising lot rents. Typically, the people who you buy these properties from do not raise rents nearly enough. And it seems like, oh my gosh, these are great people. You know, they really want to help lower income individuals. But what happens is they actually really wind up hurting the individuals who live there. Why? Because it turns out the owners are not making enough profit. And when they're not making enough profit, they don't reinvest into the property. And then listen to this, when they don't invest in the property, then the nicest people will not move in. And when that nicest people don't move in, then the property deteriorates even more. And then only the worst people will move in, thus deteriorating the property even more. And because now the owner cannot raise rents because they've run the property into the ground, they can't reinvest into the infrastructure, and the parks start to fall apart, creating a mess of which now you can come in, be the hero, buy the property, and turn this sucker around and make a nice profit in the process. So what do? We upgrade our parks constantly and always, always, always raise rents in a proportionate amount to the way that you're upgrading the park, or market rents in consideration with that. I can tell you that every upgrade, and you want to do it a smart way, right? So for example, if you have a mobile home park, you are not going to build a gym in a mobile home park, right? The people who live in mobile home parks typically don't use gyms, but you might want to put a nice pavilion and picnic table in there for people to have picnics and birthday parties, and people will love it. You do that, you can raise your rents $30 a month. And if you got 50 lots, That's a nice income. What is that? Um 400 and well, uh, 30 times 50 or 25, 30 times 50. Geez, I can't do my math here. What? That's $1,500 a month, right? That's going to be $18,000 a year. That's a good investment for putting a picnic table and maybe a small pavilion up, right? You want to invest in a nice fence so that people feel safe. You want to invest in good lighting so that you get rid of all the crime, right? You want to get a nice sign so that when people come in, they feel welcome. And so all this stuff is relatively inexpensive, but people love it, right? They like to feel that they're part of a community and that they live in a nice place. And so if you do that, people will stay and they will tolerate rent increases and they'll be happy to pay those because they know that you are reinvesting into the property. Next is if you're thinking about investing in mobile home parks, and I learned this the easy way actually is you want to do it with a team. I started out, I love this asset class, investing with an experienced operator. And I started, I don't know, doing this back, if I had to guess, somewhere around 2010, 11 approximately. And instead of finding a park and operating a park and hiring people, I decided to take some of my money and invest it into their deal, which was great. And that first year, I don't really make that much money. But towards the end of the first year, all of a sudden that cash flow started to come in. And the second year, it was a little bit more. And the third year, it was a little bit more. And the fourth year, it was a little bit more. And then they sold some of the parks, and I got a big chunk of money back. And it was just so awesome to partner with somebody in that way because I didn't have to do any of the work. All I had to do was invest some of my funds into doing that. Now, if you're doing something like that, make sure that you are investing with someone who is experienced and you trust them and you understand the deal and the terms. But investing in someone else's deal for me was one of the ways that I got really comfortable with the asset class. The next thing that you could do, partner with someone, is maybe bring someone a deal, right? So if you want to partner with me and bring me a deal, right, and it's I've talked about my criteria here, but anything in Southern California or Arizona, I'm super interested in that area. If you've got a park that's over 100 spaces in anywhere other part of the country, I'm interested in that and partnering with you. But you don't have to partner with me. You could partner with somebody else, bring them the deal, and get paid. And reminder, if you want to know more about that, you can go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. And just so you have that, MHP stands for Mobile Home Park. So No Limits Real Estate Investing/MHP. And the next thing is if you don't want to just throw your money in the deal, which is the easiest way. And I still, by the way, have my money invested in other people's deals. Two, if you don't want to just bring them the deal and get an assignment fee. Three, you could partner with them, right? Maybe you could bring them the deal and they could leave you in the deal. Or maybe you are listening to this and you are a mobile home park operator in another part of the country and you want to partner with me and you want to run the deal, right? And I bring some other resources. I don't care what it is, but you see how you can mesh the three is that this is a team sport. And so you want to really work with others. And there's a lot of different ways to get involved. And so if you want to invest in one of my deals and partner with me and learn that business, you again, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP or read up online about mobile home parks. I absolutely love this asset class. All right, so I'll review. Number one, I love mobile home parks because it's a phenomenal asset class. It gives phenomenal cash flow. There's low competition, and I just get it, and I love it. But you got to understand it's the long game. It's usually a 2 to 5 year play. It's a phenomenal way to create cash flow. Just understand it's a little bit of delayed gratification for a big payoff. Number two is that you want to be in the parking lot business, where your business model is to rent the land and the infrastructure and the exterior of that park. So you're creating a safe and affordable place for people to put their mobile home, which they'll have much higher pride of ownership for that. Number three, understand that this is an operating business. And so to run this the right way, you typically need a manager on site who's going to deal with all of the tenants, which is really, really great because some people will move away from this asset class because they don't want to deal with the tenants, or a big management company usually is going to handle this. There are some management companies who do this, but I find the best operators manage these in-house. Understand the competition from other mobile home parks is actually low. It's really expensive, really complicated. Cities don't like mobile home parks. And I got to tell you that your competition, again, from parks is low. So you're going to be able to raise your rents in a steady way. Next is you want to continually upgrade your properties and always raise rents. You are not doing anyone favors by keeping your rents low. Okay. You need to continually reinvest and watch your profits and your park get better every single month. Your tenants will appreciate it. Last is your team. Okay. You don't have to do this alone. You could start out investing in someone else's deal. You could bring somebody else a deal, or you could partner with someone to stay in the deal and get a profit at the end of the deal. I can tell you that I love mobile home parks. It's a great way to play the long game in real estate. You can't just play the short game. You can do deals that are going to be a 7-figure profit in the mobile home park business, and I love it. So if you want to know more, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. That stands for mobile home park, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. And I will talk to you on the next episode.